Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we've made a team of 11 players who, while not the most talented, went on to reach the pinnacle of the global game. Goalkeeper, Joe Hart. Labelled world-class at 27, washed up by 30, Joe Hart has had the quintessential English football career. A genuinely talented youngster, he was spotted playing for Shrewsbury in League 2 at 17, and by 19 was in the division's Team of the Year. Man City scooped him up for a reported £100,000, and he went on to spend the next 10 years with the side. During that time, Hart was twice named the best keeper in the division, won the title twice, and played nearly 350 games for the club. He also established himself as England's number one, and he's now been capped 75 times by his country. That's more than Paul Scholes and Alan Shearer. The stopper was widely praised in the UK, and in 2015, Gianluigi Buffon said the City man was one of the top 3 keepers in the world. However, the arrival of Pep Guardiola saw the demands of the goalkeeper increase, and, anxious not to be benched, Hart went on loan to Torino, where he conceded 62 goals in 36 games. He was subsequently farmed out to West Ham, swiftly lost his place to Adrian, and now, with Fraser Forster and Jack Butland impressing, he looks likely to lose his England place too. Right back, Álvaro Arbeloa. The most decorated footballer in our team, Álvaro Arbeloa somehow overcame being a mediocre player to win a title, 2 Champions Leagues, 2 European Championships, and a World Cup. However, he only actually got on the pitch in one of those 5 finals at Euro 2012, largely acting as a backup to better talents. A product of Real Madrid's academy, the Spaniard had to leave to make his name, playing for Deportivo and Liverpool before returning to the Bernabeu at 26. Arbeloa featured at centre-back and right-back for the club and was inexplicably honoured with Madrid's number 2 shirt, formerly worn by Salgado and Panucci, while winning a remarkable 56 caps for La Roja. He left in 2016 at 33 and moved to West Ham for a last pay packet, where, finally, he actually became entertaining. It's hard to tell whether Arbeloa was hampered more by his physical deterioration or total lack of interest, and he played only 4 times in all competitions for the Hammers. Instead, it was on the training ground where he proved himself truly elite, reportedly kicking a youth player and telling then-manager Slaven Bilic, "Talk to me when you've won the Champions League." Centre-back, Wes Brown. Only 4 players won the Champions League with Man United in 1999 and 2008. Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes and Wes Brown. Brown is Manchester born and bred, joining the Red Devils at 13 and staying for 19 years, during which time he won 5 league titles and on one occasion made the Prem team of the season. Brown also has 23 England caps despite competition from Ferdinand, Terry, Campbell, Adams and King, and appeared 362 times for United. That's just 17 fewer than Patrice Evra. Able to play at centre-back or right-back, Brown delivered the assist for Cristiano Ronaldo in the 2008 Champions League final, and when he eventually left Old Trafford in 2011, he spent 5 seasons at Sunderland before moving to the Championship with Blackburn. Now 38, Brown is still playing professionally, turning out for the Kerala Blasters in the Indian League under former United coach René Merlenstein. Centre-back, Dante. Sadly for Dante, his talent could never live up to his name. The Brazilian won the Belgian league with Standard Liège before he went to Germany and only joined Bayern Munich at 29. His first season with the Bavarians was the 2012-13 campaign, when they won the treble, and Dante was at the heart of that achievement, playing 90 minutes in the Champions League final and missing just 5 matches in the league. However, the centre-back lacked the talent of Jerome Boateng and Holger Badstuber, his main advantage over the latter being the possession of 2 working legs. Prone to panic and lapses in concentration, the defender's worst moment came at the 2014 World Cup, when he came in for the suspended Thiago Silva in the semi against Germany. Brazil had conceded 4 goals in 5 going into the game, but a calamitous performance against many of Dante's clubmates ended in a 7-1 defeat, the biggest loss in the nation's history. He hasn't played for his country since and now turns out for Nice, a little closer to his level. Centre-back, Gary Cahill. Though far from a bad player, it's hard to believe that Gary Cahill has made the Premier League team of the season on 3 occasions, something Sergio Aguero has not managed to do even once. The defender joined the Blues in 2012 for £7 million, and in his first 6 months as a Chelsea player he won the Champions League, while Bolton, his old side, got relegated. Cahill has added 2 league titles as well, and despite the club spending €210 million on 14 defenders since then, the Englishman has played over 250 times for the club under 7 different managers. Though often described as the weak spot in the Chelsea 11, he's also been a regular for the national team, racking up 58 caps for the Three Lions. That's more than Jamie Carragher and over twice as many as Robbie Fowler. Now 31, Cahill can even boast 24 Premier League goals. That's more than Rio Ferdinand and Phil Neville got put together in a combined 1,009 top-flight appearances. And he has captained both club and country. Perhaps a re-evaluation is in order. Left back, Steve Finnan. When he joined Liverpool from Fulham for £3.5 million in 2003, Steve Finnan could never have expected to appear in 2 Champions League finals. That's 2 more than countryman Roy Keane. A lower league success story, Finnan is one of just 2 men to have scored in all of England's top 5 divisions, and he won 3 of them, though unfortunately the Premier League was not among his triumphs. Finnan made more appearances than any other player in Liverpool's run to Istanbul in 2005 and was a key component in a defence which conceded just 158 goals in 190 league games during the 5 years he was at the club, although in his later seasons he competed with Álvaro Arbeloa for the right-back berth. He left Anfield at 32 and tried his hand in Spain, but an ill-fated experiment with Espanyol ended after only 4 appearances. In his final season as a professional, Finnan was drafted into Portsmouth to add some experience, sadly finishing his career with relegation to the Championship. Central midfielder, James Milner. With over 450 Premier League appearances and 61 caps for England, more than Mats Hummels or Marco Reus for Germany, James Milner has made a career of being generally decent wherever you put him on the field. The Englishman has played on the right and left of midfield and attack, as an advanced midfielder, a defensive midfielder, a centre-forward and in both full-back spots, with his preferred position in the centre of the park. In fact, Milner left Man City, where he won 2 titles, to play that role, but ended up parked on the left side of defence. The citizens paid Aston Villa £26 million for his services in 2010, after Milner had helped the Villains finish 6th in the Premier League and made the team of the season, forking out as much on the former Newcastle man as they did on Tevez and David Silva. Although he wasn't fast, skillful, or particularly exciting to watch, Milner's intelligence and self-sacrifice made him a manager's favourite, and at 31, he's still proving his use for a Champions League side. Central midfielder, Sulley Muntari. Part of Harry Redknapp's exciting Portsmouth side, Sulley Muntari joined Pompey from Udinese, the club which had brought him to Europe at 17. A tireless and versatile midfielder, the Ghanaian cost Redknapp a club record £7 million, and in his single campaign in England, he helped Portsmouth win the FA Cup, their first major trophy since 1950. The club was gutted at the end of the season, with Las Diarra going to Real Madrid, while Muntari was scooped up by Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan. Though much less talented than Motta, Sneijder, Cambiasso and Zanetti, Muntari was a dream for the special one, following orders to the letter and featuring at centre midfield, DM and on the left. A regular in his first 2 seasons at the San Siro, Muntari helped the Nerazzurri to 2 Scudetti and an historic treble in 2009-2010. Despite his success, Muntari fell out of favour after Mourinho departed at the end of the year, and following spells with Sunderland, Milan and Saudi side Al Ittihad, he last played for Italian minnows Pescara. Central midfielder, Park Ji-sung. Making more than 200 appearances for Alex Ferguson's Man United is a reasonable indication of quality, and Park Ji-sung was one of the Scots' most trusted lieutenants during his 7 years at Old Trafford. As a Red Devil, Park won the Champions League and 4 domestic titles, adding to the pair he won with PSV in the Netherlands. Dynamic and trustworthy, Park was the man Fergie called when he needed someone marked out of a game. A bargain signing at just £4 million, Park was described as a real player's player by Rio Ferdinand and never complained about being benched by the Manchester Giants, claiming that even from the sideline he was able to learn about the game. In many ways, the Korean will go down as the perfect Ferguson player, a guy who came up big when it mattered. Forward, Olivier Giroud. The lanky Frenchman may not be a Champions League winner, but he burst onto the scene in 2011-12 when he scored 21 in 36 to see Montpellier crowned Ligue 1 victors. Being top scorer in France was no joke that season, with Eden Hazard 3rd in the standings and Aubameyang 4th, and Giroud also grabbed 9 assists, making him the division's 6th best creator. He has since won 6 trophies in 6 years with Arsenal, and despite an almost complete lack of mobility and some hit-and-miss finishing, he scored roughly a goal every 2.5 games for the Gunners. Where he excels is in technical ability and bringing teammates into play, and when you include his assists, he's been involved in 100 goals in 177 league games at the time of writing. And at international level, the forward is even better. With 29 goals in 69 caps, he holds the 7th highest tally in the history of the French national team and could boast a better goals-to-game ratio than Benzema, Zidane and Thierry Henry. Forward, Mario Mandžukić. In some ways, Mario Mandžukić is an alternative version of Olivier Giroud. While the Frenchman got all the looks, Mandžukić got all the trophies, joining Bayern Munich in 2012 after winning 2 titles in his native Croatia. Having only once exceeded 15 league goals, Mandžukić was an odd replacement for Mario Gomez, but his work rate and selflessness would power Bayern to an historic season. The Bavarian Giants won the DFB Pokal, the Bundesliga and the Champions League, with the big forwards scoring in the final against Dortmund. Mandžukić only hit 21 in all competitions, a far cry from Gomez's 41 the previous season, but while Bayern had scored 121, or 2.2 a game with Gomez up front, they bagged 151, or 2.8 a game with the Croatian leading the line. A reasonable spell at Atletico Madrid was followed by a switch to Juventus, the perfect home for an unglamorous but reliable player. He may rarely have a great game, but he almost never has a terrible one, and in 2017 he scored in the Champions League final again, giving him the same tally in the showpiece match as Lionel Messi.
So you've made it to the end of one of our videos, What is wrong with you? Your family is worried. Anyway, stick around, check out more great content right here, and of course subscribe to the channel.